takes forever. Welcome back to That Stupid Dating Show. My name's Rain.
My name's Michelle.
And we are back here live on a Wednesday night.
Our usual date.
Back in the house.
It's our date
doing
night.
a podcast on a Wednesday night. What's going on,
Are you
Michelle?
going to record that? I think it's a number one hit.
Could be.
It could be.
Could be.
It really
could be. How you doing?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm hanging in there. It's another hump day.
You sounded pretty confident about that. I'm hanging in there.
I'm trying.
Yeah.
Hanging by a pinky.
Another hump day. Let's see, we recorded last week with Jeff.
Jeffrey.
Came up with
How
some...
did Jeff enjoy the podcast?
He loves the podcast.
Did he talk about it after?
So much fun.
Was he
He still talks about it now. It's been a week.
Like, what did he, I mean, when you left the house, was he like just hyped and like talking about it the whole time, or what?
Well,
like,
you know he was talking about it.
I'm just asking. I mean, this is your space to fill in.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, he talked about it all the way home.
He did. He talked about it the whole way home, and then we went over to our friend's house afterwards, and he talked about it there. And our friend brought up the live and watched the live, and like I said, he's still talking about it now. He's got all the ideas and all the things, and all this is going to happen, and I'm pretty stoked that he's so supportive of all of it.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
I love his passion for it.
Yeah.
He was
excited.
I could tell he was pretty excited about it.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, he's a little chatty Cathy about it.
He's a chatty guy.
I
like him.
I love him.
He's funny.
He can be quiet though, like
I believe it.
super quiet. So,
Yeah. Oh, there she is. Hey, so we do have a guest tonight, and we're gonna bring her up. I didn't expect it so quick. So, okay, here we go.
It's not.
Hey.
Right.
Hi.
How's it going?
Good. Are you good? Can you guys hear me okay without like a horrible echo?
Yes.
We can hear you.
Perfect.
Can you hear us good?
Great. Yep, you're perfect.
Awesome.
We are perfect.
We try. We strive to be.
Mission accomplished. Doing well.
Oh, we're the wrong short.
So, I found you on TikTok. I just happened to come across one of your videos about those groups of Are We Dating the Same Guy or something like that, which I've never been in those groups, but I have a feeling your description is pretty freaking accurate.
It is. You're not living your life right. I promise you. It's some of the best entertainment you'll ever come across.
Damn it. All right, so I'm going to have to join those groups even though I have no use for them.
I wish I could join them.
I guess I do have a use for them. I could use it on the podcast.
Well, yeah.
Oh, God. Content galore. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
definitely could. Well, that's kind of dumb, so I need to join that group. Anyways, so we're gonna have you introduce yourself, your make and model, whatever information you want to give for your intro.
Our guest here today is
I'm
Jessica. That was
Hi.
dumb.
I'm Jess. I'm 35. I am in those groups for no reason whatsoever because I'm actually terminally single and have no interest in dating. But like I said, entertainment. And like you said, you found me on TikTok and we just kind of stumbled across the content crossover.
Yep.
So here I am.
Content crossover. I like that.
So you're 35. What do you do?
Oh, you cut out. I'm sorry. What?
What do you do? Like, you don't have to tell us where you work or anything, but like, what do you do for a living?
I am a hairstylist in Southeast Texas.
Okay, I could see that for sure.
Hairstylist. How long
Yeah.
you been doing that?
I'm licensed about 1.5 years, but I've been doing hair for 10 years, so it was a long time coming.
Nice. I guess you like hair.
I'm quite fond of it.
Rain does too, but he doesn't have any. So
But
Fix that.
sucks for him. Okay, so you told us a lot about yourself, but one of our favorite things to start off with is you said you're not dating. You're 35. When is the last time you went on a date?
Oh, God. I don't really date. Probably like 5 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Jeez.
Yeah.
But you
I-
were in
I
a
don't.
relationship for some of the 5 years?
Yes. So I was in a deeply committed, I was deeply committed to the relationship. I was engaged for a year out of a 3-year relationship. That ended about a year and a half ago. And before that, I was single for about a year. Before that, I was also in a deep relationship. Like, I don't do casual dating. I'm an all or nothing kind of person. So in the last few years, just the way that dating has gone for me, I've decided that I'm actually good with nothing.
Okay. But I know we discussed one specific date, which we'll get to soon. You have been on some,
Yeah.
you were on the dating apps for like a hot minute. Like,
Yeah.
how long
Like a
would you
second.
say? Like a
Long
second.
enough to dip my toe into the dating pool and realize that there's definitely pee in it and just dip right back out.
A lot of pee in that pool.
You just cut off all the sound.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
I don't know. I cannot. He's got this.
Sorry.
It's
What
because
about
you
now?
said he didn't have hair earlier. He'd take it back out on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He
It's-
likes payback in petty ways.
It's rough in here.
He's a little bitch sometimes.
Sometimes.
So we'll dive into that. So you were on the Tinder. I feel like a grandma when I say the
The
Tinder.
Tinder.
For
Hold
just
on. Well, I was going to say, so you haven't been dating for 5 years?
well, she was in a serious relationship.
I know.
mean, I was in relationships for the most part of them. But
You haven't-
they were basically like marriages to me.
You haven't went on any like casual dates in the past 5 years, or
Nope.
not one single one?
No, not really.
Why? Not really. So there
my
had to
mo-
be like one.
I mean, I don't know. I don't live in a very large area. I live in a pretty small southern town. So 90% of the problem is that we all know each other and we all graduated high school together. So I'm
Everybody's
good.
dated everybody.
Pretty much. The most recent relationship, we didn't really date. We met at work. It just kind of hit off, and then we dove head off into it, and it just became a full blown marriage after a little while. And then before that, we'd known each other for almost 15. We did go to high school together. We'd known each other for almost 15 years, and we just ran into each other one night. It was kind of serendipitous, and it just kind of went off from there. Like, I've never really done the casual dating thing. I did for a little bit in my late 20s. Like, I attempted to, and I realized very quickly that it just wasn't for me, because it's atrocious. It's just never been my thing.
Yeah, it can be. It can be. I will say my experience wasn't that bad. But I didn't stay local when I did that.
Yeah.
I lived in kind of the same, like, I lived in a small town. Everybody knows each other. Everybody went to school together, whatever. I made it a goal of mine not to date anybody in my town because ew.
Yep.
So
Right.
I spread my wings, and my experience was pretty good. And not everybody, and also Tinder is the worst.
Oh God, yeah, it's atrocious.
Yeah.
I don't know what I was thinking. Even in my 20s, when Tinder, like, I got divorced in my 20s, and so it was like becoming popular around the time that I got divorced, and I was like, this can't be that bad. Yes, it can. It can. It is. It still is. Nope.
Tinder's definitely the hookup app. I never went on Tinder, so maybe that's why I avoided a lot of the disturbing ones. But
Yeah. It's a cesspool in and of itself. I learned that lesson the hard way really quickly.
So you're 35 and you haven't really dated anybody in the past 5 years. So since you're about 30 years old, how long was your longest relationship prior to that?
My marriage. We were together for 10 years, married for 7.
So 10 years over total?
yeah,
Or 17 years?
No, total 10.
Okay.
Married for 7 out of
Gotcha.
the 10 years that we were together.
My bad. Okay. So, and after that, like, so what happened in what happened with your marriage? Like, how was it? Like, was it, was that a happy marriage?
We were young. I mean, in the beginning, yes. We were just very young, and we got married for the wrong reasons. And we were too emotionally immature at the time to really understand what that decision meant and what that kind of commitment really required out of both of us.
You were 20.
We've both grown a lot.
I'm sorry.
I was 20 when we got married, yeah.
You were 20 years old. How did your parents support? Like, did they come to your wedding and all? They supported you and everything?
I don't really have parents. My mother died when I was 17, and my dad, he was there. He did not support it, but he supported me. He didn't support the idea. He thought I was stupid. And hindsight, he was absolutely correct.
My dad
But I
always
mean,
turned out to be
I've never
right.
really been like a family oriented kind of person. Now, my ex husband's family was very, very involved in our marriage and our wedding, more so than I might have wanted them to be. They were also not supportive. But that's because we both come from very different religious backgrounds. And I am not of the religion that his entire family is. And that was a huge, huge no no for them at that point in time.
Yeah.
So we definitely had some obstacles on day one.
So did they like you at all? Did his family like you, or did they
God,
just
no.
shun you out because of your religion? Or
Yeah, because I wasn't part of their religion. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Pentecostal faith, but in the South where we're from, it's highly predominant, and I am basically everything that goes against that particular and what it represents. So they probably took one look at me and were like, "Dear God, what were you thinking?" And it was too late at that point.
Yeah, I'm not super religious, or I'm not super familiar with that one, but my ex-husband was not he wasn't really part of it, but his family was part of the Mormon religion. So that's fun.
It's pretty close in legality. It's just a very strict legalistic religion. And there are just certain things that are absolutely not acceptable within that faith. And I literally check all of those unacceptable boxes before I even enter the room.
Yeah.
So he definitely, I'll give him credit where it's due. He went out on a limb on that one. It did not go well for him.
No, I'd say not. But, we're all young. No. We all feel like we know. We know
and we
what's
did.
best.
We both thought that we knew better than everyone around us trying to give us advice. And
young, dumb, and full of rum.
Yeah.
We got a little bit of an echo here.
It might be me.
Yeah. She asked that in the beginning.
I turned it down a little bit.
Anyways, go ahead, Michelle.
Okay. So you get out of that marriage, and you said you didn't date a little bit. You did date a little bit after that marriage.
I tried to, but seeing as that was kind of my first real relationship, because like I said, we started dating in high school. I didn't know how to be anything other than someone's wife already in my 20s.
Yeah.
So trying to casually date after a decade of being someone's wife and a mother, and just living that very, very common housewife / partner kind of role, trying to take that and then just throw it into casual dating completely threw me off, and I simply wasn't good at it. I wasn't emotionally prepared for it. I think I went on maybe a total of like 4 or 5 dates in the few years that followed my divorce, and just basically was like, this is awful and I don't want to. This is just not a fun time for me.
So, and then you just randomly ran into, how did you randomly run into, I guess you knew the next guy you were in a relationship, you knew him beforehand, and you guys just kind of randomly, yeah. I want to hear the story.
So, like I said, we knew each other for 15-ish years. We went to high school together. We ran into each other at a bar one night. I was having a really, really horrible day. My house had actually just caught on fire.
Oh,
my heater basically exploded, and it was this whole ridiculous situation. And by the time everything calmed down, it had been a couple of days, and I needed to decompress. And I went to this random little hole in the wall bar in our town that I never go to alone. I just needed to not be in my house and dealing with the stress, and ran face first into him. And I mean, we're friends, we're cool. We've known each other for years, so we just kind of sat and hung out, and that was it. From that point forward, for the next several months, we were inseparable. I legitimately did not spend a night away from him for 2 weeks after that night, because we just immediately clung to each other.
Oh, wow. So it was just that immediate, oh shit, you know what? I might've liked you back then. And it just kind of, you just kind of went for, my sister married her high school, like some guy she dated in high school, in her, like, I think she was in her late 30s by the time she married him. Like, they had whole lives, ran into each other one day, reconnected, and got married. So it happens. But
Honestly, that's kind of how we thought it was going. And he gave me shit the entire relationship because he was like, I've been pining for you for 15 years and you wouldn't give me the time of day. And now look at you. And I'm like, okay, shut up. But like, he was kind of right.
yeah, but ultimately that did not end well.
No, I mean, the relationship simply didn't work out for multiple reasons, but we're actually still really close to this day. Our kids are very close,
Okay.
and we've maintained a really good relationship. He's one of my favorite people on the planet. I love him to pieces. We simply didn't work out as a relationship, as a couple, but our friendship is still intact, and I'm really grateful for that, honestly.
Well, that's good. That's good that you can keep it amicable afterwards and the kids can still be friends. And that's always a good feeling. But you did tell us a story about one of the guys you did meet on Tinder. So all of our listeners need to know about this fun little adventure that you had with this. We're just going to call him Tinder guy.
Tenderfoot.
Tenderfoot.
Tenderfoot, yes. So, again, not really knowledgeable or capable of handling casual dating. I think I had talked to this guy consecutively for maybe like a week or so. And my best friend was just basically like, pull the trigger, just do it. You need go outside. She was like, you need to try this. You need to, try something new. You keep doing the same thing repeatedly and you're getting the same results. And that's the definition of insanity. Do something different. And I was like, you know what? Fine. Fuck it. Full send. And so I agreed to go to dinner with this guy. As soon as we get into the restaurant, and I mean like within maybe 10-ish minutes of sitting at the table, he asked me if I had a local plug. And it took me a second to register what he was asking me because I don't do drugs. And so it just didn't click immediately. And then once it registered, I was like, did you just ask me if I have a plug? Like, do you mean weed? And he was like, yeah, do you know anybody? He's not from here. He drove 2 hours to have this dinner date with me. And he's from the Houston area. So that's like a whole 2-hour drive.
And he was just like,
yeah, do you have like anybody? Yeah. And I was like, I'm sorry. No, fresh out. So sorry. No, I don't have one. And he got really irritated. Like he got immediately pissed off at me because I said no. And I thought he was joking. And so I'm a smart ass by nature. Like my first language is sarcasm.
Mm-hmm.
So I was trying to be funny about it because I assumed we were joking. And it became very quickly apparent that we were not. I was joking. He was not. And he got super pissed and basically was like, well, what the hell are we supposed to do? Like, what am I supposed to do now? And I was like, oh shit, you're super serious. And he was genuinely upset that I did not provide him with marijuana upon meeting him.
Would he drive 2 hours for free weed? I'm so confused.
And not to mention, like, it didn't even occur to me until later on in the afternoon. Like, it never clicked. Where the hell was this guy planning on staying? Because he's surely not coming to my place.
No.
Like, I choose life. And so his expectations, the entitlement was staggering to me. And so I was like, you know what, respectfully, I just don't think this is going to work out. Like, I don't feel like we're on the same page and we're just like, our vibes are not aligning for me. So I'm just going to go ahead and go. I paid for we had only had one drink. We didn't even order food. Mm-hmm. I paid for my drink. He got pissed and I got up and left. And before I even cleared the parking lot of the bar, he texted me this epic paragraph about how he was really pissed off that I wasted his time and that we weren't going to work out and that this was the last time we were going to see each other. There would be no more future dates and to lose his number because I just was so disrespectful of his time. Oh. And I was like, what?
You said you talked to this guy for a week before this?
Yeah. He was witty. He was funny. The conversation flowed naturally. He seemed great. And I was like, you know what? Fine. And then in person, everything Hindenburged. It was the craziest experience. And that is one of the reasons that I stopped. I immediately got off Tinder and was like, that's it. No more. I can't do this.
You had no indication of like addict?
No.
Addict.
Right.
He pulled a full, it was just the most ridiculous, full circle shit ever. He genuinely was such a good conversationalist the entire time.
Because he was high the whole time. He got sober. On his 2-hour
I
drive.
really think so.
Yeah.
He was like, you know what? 2-hour drive. I don't leave. This bitch better provide.
Somebody
Poor
done cut
guy.
his
I
ass
feel bad
off in
now.
traffic, and he was needing him a
Yeah.
fix.
Like, that just baffles me. Like, what if you were like a cop or something, and he's just like you've known each other for a week. You don't know shit.
He was hard up. He needed it. He
You
didn't
don't know
care.
me. What if I'm a narc? I'm a snitch.
Right.
I'd be telling my best friend everything. That was just irresponsible on your part. Like, what?
Like,
Yeah.
that's outrageous. Like, you meet somebody for 5 seconds, and it's like, hey man, I need some weed. All right, well, sorry for your bad luck. I don't. What?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, I don't blame you for getting off the dating apps after that, but you know, it's Tinder, so shocker.
Did you do any other
Yeah.
dating apps?
I tried Hinge for a little bit because a friend of mine mentioned it and was like, it's so different. It's such a different atmosphere, and it's, you know, it's so much safer, and it's a better quality and caliber of men. No, the hell it's not. It's the same men that are on Tinder, just with slightly more information because Hinge requires it. That's all.
That makes
It's the same lying
I mean, that's-
motherfuckers
yeah,
that were on Tinder.
That is
I mean,
pretty much
Yes.
every dating app, literally.
yeah.
Just because we require a little more information.
I want to say, I do say yes because I hear more horror stories and more bad dates on the dating apps than I hear good ones. But I have nothing but, I had nothing but good dates.
Yeah. See, and I have friends who have had great experiences with dating apps. Like, I have a friend who met her husband on Tinder, and they are genuinely like the perfect. They could not have done better for themselves if they had gone to Build a Bitch Workshop. They're great. So I know those experiences exist.
She said,
Build a bitch
I haven't
workshop.
had it.
I love that. I love
There's
that.
the title.
Yeah.
That
You
is
just landed our
fantastic.
title.
Stephanie,
Perfect.
what did I just say? It's Tinder. Okay? Get off Tinder and you won't meet guys like Rain.
So
Rain knows I love him. It's fine.
it's all right.
All right. So let's put you. Let's do this scenario. Let's say you're getting back out there. You're looking to casually date. What would draw your attention? So you're not going to be on the dating app. So you're going to have to meet this guy organically.
Right.
So what would draw your attention to be like, I got to go talk to this guy?
Oh,
Like,
God.
what would
I
you be
don't even know
physically?
anymore.
What you'd be looking for?
Did you say physically?
Yeah, physically. What kind of guy just catches your eye?
He's strung out high.
Yeah. I want the stoner guy in the back who's asking people for free weed.
Well, he tried that. It didn't work,
I
so
like-
that's not your type.
Yeah. Clearly, I learned the hard way, though, apparently. Tall and bearded. I need tall and I need a full beard.
Okay, so when you say tall, where are we at?
How tall are
Taller than
you?
me. I'm 5'4", so if I can look up, we're good.
I was going to say that's not hard to beat. That's 5'4", and I would have actually thought you were
I'm
taller.
little.
Yeah, I thought you were taller as well.
Yeah.
How tall do you think I
No,
am?
I am essentially a hobbit.
Okay, hold on. How tall do you think Rain is?
How tall do you think I am?
Oh God, I don't know. So I don't know if you guys like how your setup is, but like my screen for you guys is insanely tiny. Like I'm squinting to see you, and
So
I
I
can
look
barely
huge.
make out your actual forms.
He said
What did he say?
I look huge.
huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely look
Zoom in, you're gonna look like Hagrid. It'll be great.
6'5". You look 6'5".
I am.
You do, yeah. He's
Absolutely.
definitely not 6'5". I'm the tall one. It's fine.
How tall are you?
I'm 5'8".
Are you really?
Yes,
See, I just thought you had the way you're sitting. You just look like you're really leggy.
I am very leggy.
She's
Actually,
leggy.
I am leggy. I'm like all leg. But yeah,
Like stretching them all the way out. She's like, I'm all leg actually.
it
her
is.
her upper half is midget.
Jeans shopping is a pain in the ass.
Dude, it really is. So I'm short, but like I'm all legs, no torso. So that's genuinely my problem because 9 times out of 10, finding pants that fit my waist but don't make me look like a toddler dressing up in someone else's clothes, it's fucking difficult.
Rain looks like a toddler dressing up in somebody else's clothes. Rain's 5'3".
I'm really winning in this one. Um, so you have two teenage kids, huh?
I do.
How does are they both from the same dad, or
Yep. My ex-husband.
you're the one of 10 years?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's all I had on that.
Really? That's where you went with that?
Well,
we were in our type, and you're like, oh, by the way, you
Rain's
have
like,
kids.
and I'm out.
Well, it's just, I mean, there was, not most people are like her, so.
So we're going tall. We're going back to where I was going. We're going tall and bearded. Okay, say you go over there. What are you saying? If you were to approach a man, what would you say?
See, I was just about to say I'm never gonna approach a man. Ever.
Why?
No. I don't wanna.
Okay.
I was raised by a very Southern stereotypical, like, good old boy. Like, my dad was like your stereotypical cowboy, and he was a stereotypical Southern gentleman. I am a perfect combination of all of my father's characters in the aspect that I was taught how a woman should be treated, but I was always also taught that I can just do it myself. So it's really difficult for me because I don't want you to hold my door open. I don't need you to. I'm perfectly capable of opening the damn door.
Right.
But if you as a man don't open the door, I'm going to look at you and be like, wow, noted. And I'm going to keep walking. I'm the problem. Like,
so do you want to be in a relationship again?
Not anytime soon. I don't think that I'm fully healed from my last relationship, and I have no interest in walking halfway prepared into something else to potentially cause damage to someone else or cause more damage to myself. Okay. I'm built for relationships. I suck at being alone. I really don't enjoy it. Transparently, I am not. I don't know. I just don't like it. I genuinely enjoy having a partner, but I've also matured and grown a lot in the last couple of years, especially since this last breakup, to a point where I have healed enough that I realize that I am part of the problem, and I don't need to start off something else until I'm completely and utterly okay with everything that I need to work on. So the idea of jumping into a relationship right now sounds like the stupidest thing that I could possibly do.
That's very mature of you to realize that you need that before you try to bring somebody else in, because a lot of women don't. They're like you said, like, it sucks to be alone, so they just want to jump into something. And I think that's too why casual
for the sake
dating,
of not being alone,
like that, why the casual dating could be so difficult for you, because you are, like you said, you're used to wifey life, so you jump in and you want to take care of them and you want to treat them like your husband, and that's what you want to do. But that goes back to, you've got to be good with you and casually dating, and not, I don't know if this is where your head goes. If the rejection happens or something like that, you're not like, where did I go wrong? Like, you're not questioning yourself.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. I have severe abandonment issues that I've had to work through for years. And I mean, frankly, I was that person. I did that in my last relationship. I wasn't fully healed before we dove off into it. And I convinced myself that the serotonin and dopamine rush that I was getting from the new shiny happy of the new relationship would be enough to carry us with all of my baggage and all of his issues through the relationship. I wasn't ready. He wasn't ready. And I ignored it. Had I not ignored those red flags, not only in him, but had I not ignored my own red flags, I probably could have genuinely saved both of us a lot of heartbreak. So I learned this lesson the very hard way, but because I learned it as hard as it hit me like a Mack truck, and I'll never do it again.
Yeah. So, I mean, like you said, it's been a year and a half. You're still healing. And you have to have that time where to be happy with yourself and happy with where, what you want, and really navigate what you want in life before you bring somebody else into that picture. But then when you do bring somebody in that picture, they have to be at that place in their life too. They don't need to be carrying their baggage. Like, you're over your baggage. Good. Left it at the airport. Don't bring somebody else's in.
Right.
So
I think that's the problem with a lot of this generation, is that, like you said, so many people don't want to do that work. So many people are not capable of handling the aloneness, to be able to actually sit down in yourself and be content with your own company and not need the company or the comfort of someone else.
Yeah.
Excuse me. To actually do that is extremely difficult. It's extremely stressful and frustrating, and sometimes it can feel really heavy to actually do that. And a lot of people in my life personally, I watch friends of mine constantly jump from relationship to relationship to avoid that inner work because it seems scary. And now that I'm on the other side of it, it's so frustrating because I look at them and I'm like, I love you and I see what you're doing and I already know the answer and I know how this is going to work out. If you would just listen to me and do what I'm telling you, you could avoid all of this. And I get so frustrated watching them do the polar opposite. But I mean, I did that. I did it for 3 years and I had to learn the hard way. And now I can look back and realize that, they're going to have to learn the hard way the same way that I did.
Yeah.
But so many people are just so afraid of being alone that they would rather be in a miserable, toxic, unhealthy situation versus just sit with themselves for 5 minutes and realize that they might be the problem too.
Yeah. There's a lot of people that won't admit they're the problem. We've had them as guests before.
Yeah.
We've had several of those. If you go back and listen to any of the episodes, you could probably pinpoint exactly who I'm talking about. Not just one, there's several. But you try to tell them and they're just like, no. Actually, and it's like, look at the common denominator, please.
Yeah. Well, and it's like when people go back and forth to the same toxic relationship over and over again. Now I look at that and I'm like, you're an idiot. Like, how the hell do you not see it? Like, you can't be this blind. You can't be this oblivious. You can't tell me that you are looking at this situation as a whole and not seeing a fucking golf course of red flags. Why would you go back to that? But then I have to stop and sit down and be like, Jessica, shut the hell up, because I did it for 3 years. And everyone in my life told me the same things. They were like, you see it, right? You're not stupid. And I'm like, no, this is great. You guys are all stupid. I'm right. You're wrong.
Yeah.
Fuck, no. I was wrong. It turns out red's my favorite color.
Thinking back, I never dated a person twice. Ever. Like, through all the years that
What do you consider dating somebody twice?
Well, like going back, like, okay, you broke up and then you go back to them or you guys get back together or something like that. I've never done that. Like, even through high school, whatever, I've never dated a person twice. I always said, like, I've been asked out again, and I always looked at him and said, it didn't work the first time. Why is it going to work again? Like, that's always been my theory.
Yeah. I envy that mental fortitude because I have done nothing but that.
Yeah, like, it's just like, why? We didn't get along the first time. We broke up for some ridiculous reason. We're just going to do it again. I'm wasting my damn time on people.
Our time is precious.
You're not wrong.
So, what is it that you did to better yourself and find yourself in the way that you have?
As cheesy as it sounds, I just kind of took a step back from everything, and therapy was helpful in so many other ways to begin with, but I really started focusing on all of my problems and all of the issues that I needed to work on within myself so that I could try and just kind of handle the situation. I was just trying to get a grasp of why it happened the way that it did and why it was hurting so much, why I couldn't let go of it, why could I not move on from a situation? And in the process of digging through all of that, we kind of uncovered several issues where I was just as much the problem as he was. And I had to allow myself to accept that. I had to acknowledge it, and I had to learn how to live with it being equally my fault. I am not good at admitting when I'm wrong. I am not good at apologizing. I don't like it. Sounds terrible. I'm not going. And that was something that I had to force myself to do. And that was kind of eye-opening and humbling. And I think that genuinely helped a lot because I wanted to blame him for that relationship and everything that went wrong from day one. I wanted to it was so easy to just simply say he did A, B, and C, and that's why it didn't work, and I'm the victim here. So I don't feel bad about anything that I did. I justified all the shitty things that I did by explaining that had he not done A, I wouldn't have responded with B. And that's not healthy. That's just as toxic.
If you go on our Facebook page, there is a coloring page posted on there.
Coloring contest.
Yeah, we have a coloring contest, but the coloring page is posted on there. Print that out and give it a go of coloring it and showing us your creative side. We want to see. God damn it!
Did you?
I can't.
I stepped on a frog.
Yeah. Did you step on a frog?
I went to the wrong thing.
But give it a color it and then
give it a color.
Give it a color. Give it a color it. Rain's throwing me off. Color it, send it in, and we are gonna vote. Me, Rain, and Eric are all gonna vote on what's the best one, and we're gonna frame it and we're gonna put it on the wall behind us. And the winner is gonna win one of our shirts of that stupid dating show on the front, and on the back it says "Red flags are our love language." I'm pretty proud of them. I made them. I'm just saying.
They are nice.
But you can win one
high
of those.
quality T-shirts we got here.
Yeah, we're
high
pretty
quality, made in Japan.
We're pretty excited to to see what you guys come up with, because I feel like it's going to get a little interesting with how you guys view us. That's kind of what we want to see. How do our listeners view us?
I'm not sure right now because we lost our guest.
We did, so we're
winging it.
We're winging it again.
We are riding on that wing.
But that's what we do. We figure it out.
I feel like it's a good time to pee.
Okay, so we're gonna take a short break.
I do need a break. I gotta check the chicken.
Yeah, we'll take a short break. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Maybe we can get Jessica back on.
We gotta find our guest.
Yes,
we lost her.
She gone.
What happened?
I don't know. I think it's her service.
Shit. Yeah. Oh yeah, she is out in the middle of nowhere, right?
Yeah, she said she's in a little town. Did you just play that music?
Yeah, it's just.
You should play it. All right, so we gotta wing it on what to fill this in with before we just cut off.
I thought this was gonna be way more entertaining.
She's back, so we need to think about what we're going to talk about with her when we get back, because I'm filling a lot of time. We are very bored, and it is very obvious.
We got this.
Get entertaining, Rain.
We got this.
Revamp, refocus.
Is she back?
She said she was going to get resituated. So I'm going to message her and tell her we're going back now.
I think she is back.
Okay. You can still hear me?
Hey. We're back. Jessica.
Why did that sound weird? I can't hear
got
me.
An echo.
I can't hear me in the mic.
Jessica, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Jessica?
I can't hear you.
Hear me?
We can hear you a little bit.
I can hear you.
You can hear me? Is that better?
Yeah, that's better. We can't.
Oh, it would help. There we go.
Yeah, there we go. Hey.
There she is.
I don't know what happened. I got like as close to my Wi-Fi router as physically possible because I was worried maybe that was the issue, but I was trying to find a way to like resituate myself so it'd be better.
Yeah, the whole screen just went black.
I think a cloud went by.
Yeah. It was a puff of smoke from that Tinder guy.
Oh, that's what it was.
Fucked up my whole situation.
He's putting up his
He was trying to put himself in
little
a situation.
signal. He's
So he was trying
blowing
to
his little signal up.
He heard us talking shit and he was like, I'll show her.
Did a little juju on you.
What if he does stalk you? Like, you have a lot of TikTok followers. What if he does stalk you on there?
Dude, look, don't put that on me, Ricky Bobby. I have enough problems.
How many
I have been genuinely worried about that for a while now.
How many TikTok followers do you have?
I think like 300 something thousand.
Jeez.
How long have you been consistently making TikToks?
It's not even really consistent, to be honest with you. I think I started TikTok like right after COVID, and it was just I was bored. I was bored in the house, and I was in the house bored, and that's how TikTok became a thing for us. My kids made me do it. My daughter still to this day, especially now, my daughter's constantly jumping my ass because she's like, I'm literally the reason that you have as many followers as you do because she threw a fit for me to get it. And then I got it and I was like, this is stupid. And she was like, stay with it. And now here we are. But I just kind of talk shit.
Yeah.
Sometimes people think I'm funny. I don't know how I got here.
Have you, with that many followers on there, have you had any like brand deals approach you or anything like that? Any advertising?
Little ones here and there. It's not something that I'm not interested in. It's just usually things like products and services that don't really align with me. I try my hardest to be a very authentic person, and I'm not going to promote something that I don't believe in or that I don't support fully. And so 9 times out of 10, if I have a negative review of something, I'm going to tell them and they don't like that. So
Can you give us an example of one of those?
As a hairstylist, I'm a hairstylist and an esthetician. So a lot of the brands that reach out to me are cosmetic brands. I had one send me this, it's like an eyebrow lamination kit, which I offer eyebrow laminations in my salon. And so I was like, oh, cool, because it was a TikTok shop affiliate kind of thing. And they were like, hey, promote this, we'll pay you commission on it, blah, blah, blah. And I was thinking, if this ends up being a decent product, not only can I offer it to my clients, because I have a lot of DIY clients. I live in a very small, economically challenged area. So I teach my clients to do a lot of things at home so that they can be budget friendly. And so I was like, this is perfect. This will be great. I'm also a use myself as a guinea pig kind of stylist because I'm not going to put a product on you as my client that I wouldn't try on myself. When I tell you that I felt like I had set my eyebrows aflame within 3 seconds of putting this on my face, and I was in an absolute panic.
I'm sure
it couldn't possibly have gone any worse than
your eyebrows were on fire.
And so
she felt like they were
like immediate chemical reaction. Like whatever the chemical makeup was, like whatever their formulation was just very, very wrong, and it was an immediate reaction.
The actual
I'm,
flame,
like, rubbing it off my eyes.
No,
I'm sorry.
Actual flame.
I don't even remember, to be honest. I really don't remember. It was so long. I think it was like 2 or 3 years ago.
He's literally picturing
the company.
Flames coming from your eyebrows.
Yeah. That's what it felt like. It was awful. Like they were just like my entire face was probably the color of my shirt. Like I was immediately inflamed. I was in hives instantly.
Oh gosh.
And I'm not a really like highly allergic person, so I was like, maybe I'm having an allergic reaction, but that's odd. I don't have sensitive skin. It was just a shit show. And so I reached out to the company and I was like, hey, my apologies, but here's the reaction that I had. I will not promote this product. You might actually want to consider reformulating. And they sent me a really shitty message back telling me that I didn't know how to use the product properly. And then it was my fault that it went badly. And then they blocked me. I was like, okay.
I do wonder a lot of times when you see that, like with the skincare and stuff like that, like how many of you do actually use this product on a daily basis? Like be real about it. Like,
honestly, I've tried a lot of them because I get a lot of free samples from those companies, and 90% of the ones where you see these influencers that are posting these videos that have 100,000 views and they're raving about this product. I try it. It's shit. You're lying. They're just paying you really well. And it drives me absolutely insane, because then you've got all of these TikTok viewers that are like, okay, well, this chick said that it's great, and she's got all these followers and she's making all this money, and it's her whatever looks absolutely fantastic, and then they buy the shit and it's not good, or they have a reaction, or something goes wrong. It's just shitty business to me. I don't like that. I don't like aligning myself with companies like that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's pretty much all of everything.
Yep.
Anything involved with any influencer, content creator, whatever, when they have brand deals, they're usually just shitty deals.
When commission is involved in anything, you just cannot trust the validity of it. And that's what's sad, is that a lot of these viewers are naive enough to just simply blindly trust someone that they see on the internet. Or, you've got young girls that are on TikTok. Mm-hmm. My daughter's 15 years old and she's on TikTok. And I think about, her age group. They're so impressionable, and they're so eager to try all of these things, and to have a routine and all these cool products, and it's consumerism at its finest. But they know their target audience and they're doing a great job at it, but it doesn't make it okay.
Yeah.
No, not at all. I mean, they've got it dialed in. Like, it's not hard at all, and they can put out a 1,000 ads and make whatever they make. It doesn't matter, because they're gonna target somebody.
True.
Yeah.
Very true. So I know, like, I don't even have nearly the followers that you have on my personal TikTok, but I get those stupid spam messages where it's like, "Hey, gorgeous," and you're like, "Mind your business, go somewhere." Yeah. But I'm sure you get real ones though.
From like
real
men,
men,
or from random people?
More like DMs from men.
Oh God, yeah.
What is the most disturbing? I need to know.
All of the sugar daddy ones.
You get a lot of those?
I get a lot of those.
For real?
Yeah.
I never get any.
I didn't realize. Look, you guys have to understand, I'm also I was a very sheltered young woman. So my 30s have been really eye-opening for me, because I'm like, damn, I was a little bit more naive than I thought I was. The concept of a sugar daddy was not something I fully understood or even recognized as normal.
It's not normal.
Probably about, I don't know. It's not to me, but
no.
Apparently it is. And so now these men are just they're so unabashed about it. They're just ballsy. And they will literally just be like, "Hey, so if you will do A, B, and C, then I'll cash out you $5,000 right now." And I'm like, "Fucking off, go away. Off is the direction in which you may fuck. I'm good. I've got it. Thank you."
What would you say is probably the worst thing you've ever been asked or presented? The grossest.
So it's not internet related, but one customer stands out from when I was bartending. I bartended and waited tables for 15 years.
Ooh,
and some of the most asinine shit that men have ever said to me have been on the other side of my bar. I walked up one night and I had a guy standing there waiting for me, and I asked him what I could get him. All I said was, "What can I get you?" And with a straight face and no hesitation and his whole chest, he said, "A shot of your bathwater."
Oh my God.
Yeah.
What?
I was literally trying to prepare myself for the worst. And I didn't seriously straight out of left field.
Hold, please.
I was it was the anticipation was building up, and I was like, it's gonna be something real good, and then it just way off guard.
Yeah.
Wait.
Yep.
This actually came out of somebody's mouth?
Dude, he had such a straight face, too. He said it with his whole chest, and I was like, "What the fuck did you just say to me?" And he was like, "You heard me." And I was like, "Oh, okay, I gotta go."
Now he's getting
home.
dominant.
Was he drunk?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No, stone cold sober.
Oh, God. Okay, well, I was going to give the man the benefit of the doubt for a second, but he just lost all of that.
I just I really tried preparing for just the worst of the worst. I was trying to think of the worst thing I could think of, and then that came on. I was like,
I can't.
Didn't think of that one.
I just can't like imagine how I would react.
What would you do?
I'd probably be like, the fuck? Like,
Yeah,
I would be
pretty
so
much.
Would you do it, though?
baffled. I would be
How much would it take?
It's not happening. It
There's
would not happen.
Like $1 million?
There's
No.
a niche for everything, okay? I'm learning this the hard way.
Yeah.
Like,
He can find it with somebody
these
else.
men are out here.
David said, splish,
Do what?
splash, how much?
Splish splash, I was taking a bath.
Nope.
Okay, that cannot. Okay, there has to be other ones, though, from bartending.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Like,
There are there's something strange about a bar. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but like, there's something about standing on the other side of that bar that makes men feel ballsier than they should.
Mhm.
And they will say the most asinine things that one would never imagine should be an outside thought, because for whatever reason, they're under the impression that I won't come over this bar and beat your ass. It's like,
it's
there's
like your
this
tip is
magical
not worth
barrier
that
they think
much
is
to
saving
me.
them.
Your
Yeah,
tip
no.
is not worth it to me.
How long were you a
But
bartender?
they think it is. They think that their cute little $2 tip is enough to talk to me like I'm beneath them. And I'm like, I'll actually beat the shit out of you.
Sam?
I just look like this.
How long were you a bartender?
About 15 years.
Fif-
I started waiting tables when I was 16, started bartending when I was 19, and just kind of rode it out for the next decade and some change.
Nice.
I mean, I'm just thinking of all the men that I mean, if that's the worst one.
What was the best tip you ever got? You ever get some big high
There was
dollar
a
tip?
regular. I mean, to us it was. There was a regular at a restaurant that I worked at for like 6 years here in my town, and he was like, I don't even remember what he does, but like he's one of those guys that as soon as he walks in the door, everybody fights over his table because they know he's gonna leave $100 tip no matter what. And Mother's Day weekend, my kids were really little, and it was like the second year after my divorce, I think. So it was my first Mother's Day away from my kids, and it was balls to the wall, and I was weeded, and he always left $100 tip, and he ended up in my section, and I was like, fucking thank you. Okay, great. At least I'm walking out of here with $100 today. He ended up tipping me $200 because he asked me, he was asking me like basic questions, whatever, tell me happy Mother's Day. Do you get to hang out with your mom, blah, blah, blah. And I felt really bad because I was just answering him honestly, but I was like, no, I don't. And he was like, oh, you're not going to spend Mother's Day with your mom? And I was like, no, she's dead. And he was like, oh. Okay, do you have kids? And I was like, yes, I do. And he was like, so why aren't you at home with them? And I was like, because I'm a single mom, so if I'm not here, they don't eat. And he was like, oh, okay. And I'm like, stop asking me questions. I feel like a dick. Like, you're making me feel bad.
Like he doesn't know
This
what
is
to
not-
say,
these are
so
not
he's
the
just like,
girlies you're looking for.
I'm
Like,
just gonna
he
give her
kept
more
asking,
money.
Like, he was trying to be sweet, and I felt so bad, and he ended up tipping me $200, and it made me cry. And he was like, why are you crying? And I was like, you don't have to do that. And he was like, no, I feel terrible. Please go home to your children. And I was like, okay, thanks, bye.
All right, I'll clock out now.
So have you ever had a situation
I'm
where
done.
like a table just made you super uncomfortable and you were like, okay, someone else is going to have to take this table?
Oh yeah. Oh
Okay.
God, yeah. I had one at a bar I worked at. I think I was mid-20s. It was a husband and wife, and they were totally normal, really cool. They seemed very chill for the first like 15, 20-ish minutes. I brought their second round of drinks out and told them how long it would be before their food came out. And the wife got up to go to the bathroom, and as soon as she walked away from the table, the husband grabbed my ass.
Oh,
And I just kind of like, I looked at him and I was like, do you want to keep your fucking hand? And he was like, it's okay. She'll think it's fine. And so he's like trying to explain to me why the wife's totally cool with it. And it's going directly over my head. I'm not picking up anything he's putting down the entire time he's explaining this to me. I was just offended that he touched me. And so
I'd have hit
I go
him.
and tell my bartender about it. And he was like, you dumbass, they're swingers. And I was like, no, he touched me. Like, I'm going to kill him. And his wife, I'm telling his wife, I'm snitching. Like I'm
Like, I
trying
don't
to be
care
a
who
girl's
they are.
girl, and I'm about to go tell. And
Yeah,
when I
that
get back
was
to the table,
non-consensual.
She started flirting with me. Yeah. Oh, I went sideways, but she made it worse, and she was the one that actually like had the balls to be like, "Hey, do you want to go home with us tonight?" And I was like, "Oh, not even a little bit. Mm-mm. Like, there was just no shame whatsoever. And I had never experienced anything like that at that point in my life. And I was just so uncomfortable. I didn't know what to do. And I gave the table away.
I always like picture what I would do if someone randomly just like grabbed me out in public like that. And I always picture myself just turning around and slugging them straight in the throat.
I have.
Like, I mean, that's just what I pictured to happen. Like, I'm just going to turn around and punch the fuck out of you. I don't.
Yeah.
Wow.
In my 20s, before I got like a backbone about me, like when I was still in my people pleaser era, I would be like, oh, don't do that. And I would go find a man that I trusted and be like, hey, go get them. But now in my 30s, if you touch me, I'm gonna rock your shit. And like, I don't fear prison. Like, it'll be okay.
Well, I think with that story, what frustrates me is you approach the bartender and you tell him, hey, this man touched me. And they're just like, oh, they're swingers. That doesn't make it okay.
That's what I was saying. Non-consensual. Like that was out of line.
Number one, if he just wanted you to join, then okay, say something like that and you can deny him. Yeah. But to just grab your ass, I don't give a fuck what your situation is. Like that, I think that bothers me. It bothers me that he touched her ass, but it bothers me more that you didn't have that backup that you should have had right then and there, where that bartender could have been like approached him and said, this was inappropriate. I need you to leave the restaurant.
Right. And don't get me wrong, at that particular restaurant, I did have a really good support system. The guys that I worked with were great, but that bartender in particular, like we're still friends to this day. Mm-hmm. He's a great guy, but we've had to have conversations before where I've had to explain to him in red crayon what it's like to be a woman, because he doesn't understand just like the luxury of being a man is not understanding why things like that are not okay. And that is a conversation I've had to have with so many of my guy friends where I'm like, no, this isn't acceptable behavior because this is mine. I own this. I got the clear blue title to this motherfucker. You don't get to just touch me. And my guy friends are just confused and baffled because they're like, okay, so just, tell him no. And I'm like, I've told men no. I've said no. They feel entitled to continue to do whatever it is they're going to do. It takes me being physically violent in response to get their attention, and then suddenly I'm the crazy bitch for trying to fight this man in a bar, but it's because you touched me first.
Right. Yeah. I guess that's a good thing about me is I have a face that just says fuck with me and find out. So what made me think about that is the other day when I was at work, I was helping a customer and I was outside with a customer around one of the guys that I work with, but I'm standing there and he's in my bubble. First of all, get out of my bubble. I don't like people, but so close. There's
how big is your bubble?
Like you're pushing the bubble. So I have a bubble, and
we're 58 minutes in, and you're just now telling me
and you're inside her bubble and you're in danger.
But then all of a sudden, I'm running his payment on the machine, and he tells me, he looks down and he goes, "You have really nice feet."
Oh.
Ew.
So I hurried up and I finished the payment and I was like, "Sir, you have a good day." And I walked inside and went to my coworker and I was like, "I'm not going back out there. This is not happening. He just told me I have nice feet." Like, you could tell me you have pretty eyes, you have pretty hair, but when you say you have really nice feet the way he did, it
What if he said you had pretty feet?
No, because what you had to do is
What if he said you had suckable toes?
So
let me get that big toe, girl.
But that just
let me get a hold of that big toe.
But you know what that tells me?
I like a good hangnail.
He went from the top of my head and went all the way down to my feet.
Oh.
Like, you know what I mean?
Full body scan.
Like the first, you don't look at somebody's feet first. It's not the first thing you go for.
Well,
like,
some.
Stop.
That guy.
So I was like, I can't do this. Like, but at that point, and we've had a couple situations before where we've been uncomfortable, but my coworker stood there and watched. Like, she went behind me and locked the door because she knew I was uncomfortable. So she didn't want him to like come in. So she went and locked the door and then stood at the window and watched for him to leave. And she was like, "Okay, he's gone." But that's a woman having a woman's back. But I also feel like had that. But I feel like had the guy that I work with heard it, I don't know that he would have said anything, done anything, whatever. I know the owner of the company would have. He'd have been like, "Sir, I don't think so."
Yeah.
But I just exited the situation. I was like, no, gotta go.
Oh, there would have been a Jessica-shaped hole in the nearest wall. There's no fucking way. Like, nope, I'm out. Like, I'm done.
Like, he didn't do anything to like piss me off, but it was just
love
immediate discomfort.
Jessica-shaped hole
in the wall.
Well, and I mean, like, well, and what's sad is that he thought he was paying you a compliment. Like, that's the problem, is that they think that they're being complimentary by saying creepy ass shit.
Right.
And then they're like, women are such bitches. Women are so rude. And we're like, no, you're fucking creepy and I'm uncomfortable.
Right.
It's not a compliment.
What?
That's weird.
I was at a work conference. This was a couple of years ago. I was at a work conference and there was a speaker there. A speaker. Like, he was there teaching a class. I worked at an animal shelter at the time. So we're at this little group function. He pulls me to the side. And I'm like, okay, this is weird. Never talked to this man in my life. And he takes 2 postcards and like puts them over his mouth. And he was like, I just wanted you to know I couldn't stop staring into your eyes the whole time I was teaching. And I was like, oh, thank you. And then I walked off. And I immediately went to my friend and I was like, that works with me. And I was like, this is what he just said. I'm very uncomfortable. And I was like, I feel like I should tell a guy though. So that way, so I told him. And he like was like dad figure following me around everywhere, making sure this guy didn't say another word. Well, then later I was talking to another friend. He's the old perverted guy. It is what it is. And he was like, Michelle, you are one sexy woman. And I was like, oh. And then he comes up and he was like, yeah, she gets that a lot. And I was like, yeah, it's only okay when he says it.
Yeah, you can't do that.
You know, it's funny we talk about this. You know, like, it's like a huge deal now where women are like, men aren't approaching us anymore. What I say, me like a woman. I'm not a woman, but I'm just saying, like, it's a huge thing where women are saying, like, we're not being approached anymore. And the reason is because they've been so tainted by guys being creepy and stuff that it's evolved into every little interaction turns into an assault in some way, to where it makes men scared to approach them.
I do feel like men over-exaggerate it a little bit when they're saying, like,
you think?
I'll never approach a woman because they'll call the cops. Well, not if you're... okay, there's got to be a legit reason to call the cops.
You're right. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
I'm surprised she didn't call the cops when he grabbed her ass, because let me tell you.
No, see, I'm not a call the cops kind of person, because if I call the cops, I'm also going to go to jail, because my go-to is to grab a beer bottle and I don't want an assault charge.
Yeah,
so
true. Facts.
I'm not going to call the cops. I'm just going to hope you don't. I
don't call 911. I call 811.
Yeah.
Because I need to bury
I got
your
8
body.
minutes before they get here to beat your ass, so you better make it worth it. I understand to a degree, because I do have, like, most of my close friends, some of my best friends are guys. I don't really have a lot of close female friends.
Right.
So I can kind of see their perspective simply because I have so many close friends that are men, but I surround myself with men who I trust, men that I would trust with my children, men that I would trust with my life. I don't surround myself with men that would do things like that would make women uncomfortable. The kind of guys that I allow in my space are the guys that if someone pulled that shit today, these guys would ride for me. You'd never find the pieces of that dude's body anywhere, ever, if anyone tried something like that in front of my guys. But we've had those conversations and they've tried to explain, their side of it to me so that I can understand their perspective and that they can understand mine. Mm-hmm. I'm right next to my window and I live in an apartment complex. So if you're picking up on all the kids outside, I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
I wondered, I thought we were just echoing really bad. I didn't know if you had 15
we're on the
kids.
other side and they've gotten really close to my window because they're playing football. My kids are being quiet and cool. These kids are being fucking feral.
You shoot them with a paintball gun. I'd love to shoot a kid with a paintball gun.
Okay, you'll get an assault charge, sir.
No, not if he accepts. He's okay. No.
Their childhood. There's no phones. They're outside playing football. Look at them go. But at the same time, I'm like, shut the fuck up. Like,
facts.
Yeah, no, I just don't want, like, I get really, I don't know, I get really frustrated when men try to complain about, it is so hard to approach women nowadays because, it's, women don't want to be approached anymore and blah, blah, blah. We fucking don't. The majority of us have gotten to a point where we're so sick and tired of all of the shit that comes with it that you're right. No, we don't want to be approached anymore. We want to be
Well,
left
no,
the
I was
hell
saying, I
alone.
was
If I need to
saying,
talk to you, I'll come to you.
I was saying statistically, more women are saying they want to be approached because they're not being approached anymore.
Yeah.
Because they've complained so much.
Really?
Yeah. They've complained so much that men are
Well, and I think
in
women,
some way assaulting them.
I think women look at it a way of what kind of like that confidence is sexy. But I'm the kind of woman that would approach a man. I have no problem with it. I will rock right up to a motherfucker. I don't care.
Everyone here knows that.
No, she just learned that about me.
I'm just kidding.
Like, I have no problem approaching a man going, hey, we made eye contact across the bar or whatever. Like, I have no problem with it whatsoever.
You looking at me because I was looking at you.
Yeah, like, I don't
just
care.
Walk up and be like, that's pretty. Can I climb it? Like, how are you?
Yeah, it's fine. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
But I think the problem lies in women have been approached so creepily. Every time they're approached, it's creepy. It's in a creepy manner. It's not in a respective manner most of the time.
Like
I couldn't quit staring into your eyes while I was giving my speech. What the fuck is that?
Like, I mean, okay. Yeah. Like, how many approaches are creepy versus non-creepy? Like, really? Like,
9 times out of 10, it's usually creepy.
Like,
for
literally,
real? Like,
or the ones that feel the need to touch you as they're talking to you, like a perfect stranger, someone you've never met, and when they come up to talk to you, approaching me to speak to me is fine. That's one thing. But if you put your hands on me, even if it's just what you're thinking is a normal, casual gesture, if you touch me without asking me or knowing me well enough to do so, immediately I don't want anything to do with you because you just took the liberty of putting your hands on me and you don't even know my fucking name. That's creepy to me.
Is that common? Like, majority of them put their hands on you?
They always like to do this little number.
Like, put their hand on your shoulder.
Right there. Or like when they put their hand on the small of your back when they're going past you. Guys at work, I have a couple of guys at work that are really bad about it, and I'm like, I love you and I don't want to have to hurt you, but I need you to understand if you do it again, like, I'll put you on the ground. I hate that.
Yeah. It's just personal space. It's respecting somebody's personal space at the end of the day. Whether it's friendly, whether it's flirtatious, whether it's whatever. I mean, I barely hug my mom. I'm not a touchy-feely person, but with the guy that I'm with. But I'm just not a touchy-feely person at all.
Well, and I think for a lot of women, it's very simple, but it's the fear factor. I can understand why the majority of the women that do say that they're just no longer interested in being approached or that they're afraid of men approaching them is because those women have probably been assaulted in one way or another. And after that happens, that fear never goes away. Like, you never feel fully safe ever again. And you're always going to have that voice in the back of your head that wonders out loud, is this guy going to hurt me too? There's always a chance that man walking up to you could be simply wanting to walk up and say, hello, my name is so-and-so, and I'd like to get to know you. He could also have Ted Bundy vibes, and you're going to find out the hard way when you become a lampshade. Like, there's no such thing as a safe man anymore to a lot of us. And we've decided that it's not worth the risk.
And that sucks that the bad ones have ruined it for the good ones, because there are good men out there. 100%. There are great men out there. There are men that would treat a woman. I mean, I got one, treats them like a princess. Like, that's just, they're out there. There are really good men out there. It's just a lot of the bad ones have ruined it for a lot of the good ones. So, well, we have really enjoyed getting to know you and hearing some of your story. And we just want to end with kind of what kind of message would you give women that are actively dating, or younger women that, might be ready to get married, or what kind of advice would you give?
Since you're not actively dating or looking for a marriage or anything of that nature.
Yeah.
Yes, but she's been in that situation before, so she could know what advice to give.
I'm just kidding.
I can give you a really good what not to do. Honestly, I think the best advice I could give any woman in those situations would simply be to make sure that you are very sure of yourself, to make sure that you feel very secure in who you are, and that you have reached the point in your life where you realize that you are whole as you are, and that you do not need a partner to make you whole. You both have to be complete human beings to function together. Until you learn that another person is not going to make you complete and make you whole, you're never going to have a healthy relationship. I think that self-reflection is the most important thing for a functional relationship.
I like it.
I think
she's right.
that's amazing. That is great, and you've been an outstanding guest.
We've really enjoyed having you. I always know when Rain runs out of words because then he just stares at me. So I'm like, okay, Michelle's still in now.
I was literally thinking earlier because I'm always like, so how about you, Michelle? But there's this TikTok where this guy was talking. And he's like, say something to the other guy.
Yeah.
You know?
He always has this whole train of thought, and then he just loses it halfway in there. Then
I get ahead of myself, and I think too hard, and then I feel like everybody's looking at me, and then I poop my pants. But, I've really enjoyed having you on. This has been fun. And the great thing about it is today I was trying to get my mind in like dating mode because like I'm always ill prepared for a podcast.
So
according to
super
Michelle,
prepared.
I got my notebook down here and everything. And like I searched dating on TikTok. And I saw a lot of your videos.
Oh, God.
And you know what's funny is I saw your videos and I actually went to your TikTok and then like watched a bunch more and didn't realize. And like later on that day, I asked Michelle, I was like, can you send me a link, like some kind of link so I can see who we're going to like have on tonight? And knew who we were having on tonight.
You were like, I know that bitch.
Yeah. I was like, oh, okay. This will be easy. That was awesome.
That could not have gone any better. That was perfect.
Yeah.
First of all, we've spent way too much time together. And
We
there's your
realized she
sign.
was easy. Just kidding.
Great. That's what I
Well,
want immortalized on the internet. Thank you.
The
Yeah.
guy at the bar thought she was.
Well, yeah.
You know.
You'll have that.
Well, you're not easy, so there's that.
Yeah. We really appreciate you coming on. It's been awesome.
Yeah,
and
no. I appreciate you guys having me. This was super fun.
yeah, so we're going to let you go from here and we're going to continue on a little bit. And it was awesome having you and Michelle.
Maybe we'll have you back in a few months. Maybe we'll go. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe you'll be dating somebody in a few months.
Yeah.
You never know.
6
God.
months, a year. We'll still be here. It's fine.
We'll see.
All right. Well, have a good night and stay big in Texas.
Thanks. You guys have a good one.
You're the worst person to sign off with ever.
I really am.
You're terrible.
I really am.
Did you just keep rambling like words?
Well, I just don't know what I don't know.
You just keep
I
saying words.
I
And
have
you could
this-
just be like, it's been great. I hope you have a great evening.
All right, bye.
Okay, bye.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah.
It turned out, better than I thought it would.
You always say that every single time. Every single time. You're like, it turned out better than I thought it would.
I
You
like to
have
set
no
my
faith in
standards
me.
low. So,
Yeah. So that way they can always be exceeded.
Yeah.
I used to say that going into the gym. I'd be like, they'd be like, you have to do 5 rounds or whatever rounds for time. And I'm like, okay, so we've got 15 minutes and I got to do all this shit. I was like, I got a goal, 1 round. And everybody's like, you're going to do more than 1. I was like, yeah, motherfucker. So when I do 3, I really exceeded my goal. So I'm going in
tripled
there
it.
with 1. And that if I only hit 1, I'm not disappointed.
That's how I take every day of my life.
Yeah.
I try to strive for, better than what I thought I would.
Yeah.
But
How's
yeah,
it going?
it's been well.
It's
been
going
better.
good. Calm down.
Yeah, it's alright.
We've had a
Yeah,
lot of comments tonight.
it's been. We didn't read them because we were just enthralled with this.
Yeah, we're not ignoring you
woman's
guys.
life.
We do see them, but when we have a guest, we tend to
Zone in.
on the guest. So every once in a while, if we comment on one, it's great. We are not ignoring you guys, though. We see them. We are reading them. We acknowledge you, and we appreciate you. To the one person that's still watching, I appreciate you.
That's probably my mom.
Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom.
We always say hi to Mom.
I
We
know.
didn't say hi to Mom today.
It took a long time to get to this part.
It's Rain's fault.
Yeah, it's always my fault. Anyways, Michelle, this has been great. It's been awesome. Hold on. Let me
What?
check my phone just in case, because I had texted what's her name at Sammy's trying to get another date.
Yeah, we're trying to get another live date at Sammy's, so you guys prepare now.
She still has
So-
yet to read it, so
Okay. Well, she might be working.
I text her
or-
at 1:34 p.m. and it's now 8:32.
Okay, it is Mom. Hi, Mom.
It's almost been 7 hours.
No, it'll be fine.
but
You'll
yeah.
hear from her.
Yeah. So, anyways, don't forget about the coloring contest. You have until June 1st to
I
get
don't know
your
why he looked at his watch.
to look at the date. It says the date on it.
Yeah, does it say today's date?
Were you trying to make a
Why
funny?
does today's date have to do with June 1st?
Because I was seeing how close it was to June
All right,
1st.
I was just-
yeah. Shut
Okay.
your mouth.
Don't tell me what to do.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I felt bad saying that.
You
Time
didn't.
zones, Michelle.
You didn't feel bad. I said EST.
Time zones.
Whatever.
Anyways,
All
it's
right.
been great. Thank you guys so much for listening to that stupid dating show. We are out. End. There we go. Well, it has to be done. I don't know why.